Hello there everybody and welcome to the entertainment headquarters, and right now it's review time, and the review that I would like to do for you is for the brand new Amazon series based on the very popular game Fallout. Now I'll have to admit, I think I've only ever played one of the Fallout games. I remember Borderlands more than I did Fallout. And we have the, obviously, Borderlands movie coming out later this year. So I'm looking forward to that, but I do have some reservations when it comes to Borderlands, especially after what I seen within the trailer, because it reminded me more or less of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Now with Fallout, like I say, I've only probably played one of the games, but I know it's very popular. And for what I have seen that Amazon is able to do, they've really brought the games to life. And that for me is the key to this entire 8-part series on Amazon, of how they've been able to look at the material in front of their eyes, you know, develop these amazing characters, put it all together and put it right in front of you on the screen. And you know what, I have to say, it's been an enjoyable watch. I've really enjoyed Fallout. And you know, one thing I'll say about Amazon, they've been on a roll as of late, when they've come to adapting, you know, certain properties. You know, The Boys is very popular. We're heading into season 4. They did the spin-off Gen V, I believe. I'm looking forward to watching that. I haven't yet watched it, but Amazon, you know, they've done really well when it comes to putting things on the small screen, and their streaming service seems to be getting bigger and bigger and going from strength to strength. And I can honestly tell you, when it comes to Fallout, it's another hit. It is for me, at least. So let's take a look at Fallout, and let's have a look at the plot synopsis. So, here we go. The premise. The show, get me tongue back in, get me teeth back in. The show depicts the aftermath of the Great War, an apocalyptic nuclear exchange in an alternated history of Earth, where advances in nuclear technology after World War II led to the emergence of a retro-futuristic society and a subsequent resource war. Many survivors took refuge in fallout bunkers known as vaults, constructed by Vault-Tec, built to preserve humanity in the event of nuclear annihilation. Unaware, each vault was designed to perform psychological experiments on the vault dwellers. More than 200 years later, a young woman named Lucy leaves behind her home in Vault 33 to venture out into the dangerously unforgiving wasteland of a devastated Los Angeles to look for her father. Along the way, she meets a Brotherhood of Steel squire and a ghoul bounty hunter, each with their own mystery past and agendas to settle. Now, what for me works very well with Fallout is basically the world building. It's large, it's grand, and it's so believable on every level, from the derelict cities, you know, that were massively destroyed by this nuclear war, to the, you know, empty motorways, highways, and of course the little, you know, encampments, the little town with, you know, people that are just trying to survive, and even within, say, the vaults themselves, where you meet the people of Vault 33. They're living like a bubble, this, what I would say, like a, a fantasy land. They're all very naive. They don't really have, an idea of what really is going on around them above, outside of these vaults. So they live in like a kumbaya state where they're just, everything's perfect, everything's happy, it's all rainbows and ice cream inside these vaults. And like you say, it's a retro futuristic feel to it because they are in the vaults, and it basically has a 1950s style themed. Even the programming, the music that they watch on the television screens within the vault, or that are also projected in the giant, I guess, warehouse area, that's a giant makeshift farmland. It's all 1950s based. And what's going on above, obviously the world's like destroyed, it's in ruins. You have the ghouls that I guess are individuals that have been affected by the radiation, and you have those that are still have the mind and are still with us, can think for themselves, and they have to have this kind of chemical or antidote that they take on a regular basis to keep them from going feral, to turn into these wild kind of zombie like creatures. And then you also have different, like I say, little tribes and little societies mingled about, and one of them of course is the Brotherhood of Steel, who are like, I guess, the authority figures of this wasteland. And obviously you have all the little remnants around just trying to survive. So the world itself is fantastic. I love how it was filmed. The cinematography is fantastic. The whole landscape is just outstanding. And of course, outside of the world that they've literally just built and taken from the screen of the computer game and basically put straight in front of you on the small screen, thanks to Amazon's great cinematography and production. You take away the world, the other great thing that makes Fallout work so well is the characters. So let's have a look at some of the characters. So we'll take a quick look at the Vault Dwellers. Now the Vault Dwellers, for me, like I say, they live in like a kumbaya kind of society. They're very naive to what's going on. They live like in this bubble, so they don't realise how bad things are above. And one of the main characters is the character of Lucy, who is the daughter of the overseer of Vault 33. And basically she is now chosen to get married because alongside the vaults, to keep the human population from growing and to keep, I guess, the DNA and the bloodlines pure, they have to obviously go and marry individuals and move to other vaults that are interconnected. So Vault 33 is connected to Vault 31 and Vault 32. And so the beginning of the show shows you Lucy basically getting herself all excited because she's now going to be marrying a member of Vault 32. So this is Lucy. She's a very beautiful woman, and at the beginning she's very naive, she's very, like I say, lives in this bubble, but throughout the course of the show you will see Lucy develop into a much stronger woman, and it's done so realistically and naturally that it is very convincing. So she goes from this very innocent woman who has these blinkers on, blind to everything, to becoming this very strong woman who eventually decides to forge a new path for herself. But she is played by Ella Purnell, and what I can tell you is she's not only beautiful but she's perfect for the role. I think she did a fantastic job in bringing the character of Lucy alive, and her plot just works wonders for the show. Now this is her father. Now our father is played by Kyle MacLachlan, who, as we know, he's off Twin Peaks, and now he very much comes across very much like Lucy. He lives in this bubble, everything's kumbaya, everything's peaceful, loving, all that, but he has a secret, and there is a plot twist that by series end I kind of had a feeling, and not that it was predictable, but I kind of had a feeling which direction his character would go in. Now, part of his plot and Lucy's plot, like I mentioned, is she ends up leaving the vault to go up into the real world because her father is kidnapped. Because, like I mentioned, she's preparing to marry a member of Vault 32. But what happens when they open the vault doors and they bring in the members of Vault 32? It turns out that they are not members of Vault 32. The vault has been ransacked. All the people in the vault have been killed or have starved to death because the members of the upper world have invaded Vault 32, took up their identities and are pretending to be the members of Vault 32, and it's all a ploy to kidnap her father, who is the overseer of Vault 33. Now, other members of the Vault Dwellers is her brother, who at the beginning is very cowardly. He's scared. He doesn't have the strength or the ability to want to, fend off the people that invaded Vault 33. It's only Lucy and her father and a handful of others that are able to try at least defend themselves and fend off the invaders from the upside world. But he is called Norm, and he is Lucy's brother, and he's played by Moses Arias, and he's a fantastic actor, and I really enjoyed his story arc, how once Lucy invades the upside world to go find her father, Norm has to stay below, and he doesn't have the courage to follow her. But while he's in the normal, back in the vault, he starts to see things aren't what they seem to be. He's very suspicious of the new overseer called Betty, and his stepmother, who is pregnant with his father's child, who seems to have a hidden agenda and a secret all of her own. And basically, when he becomes suspicious, he then makes the choice to go ahead and investigate, and that's when other secrets are revealed, other plot twists are revealed, and it's a really good story arc, and he really does a fantastic job at portraying Norm, who at the beginning is very cowardly and very scared and doesn't have the courage, but then he develops that strength throughout the course of the series. And outside of him, they're the three main vault dwellers. Now, as for the villain, well, what you believe is the villain, there is some twists and turns that will, probably, which is the great thing about the show. Just when you think you've figured stuff out, suddenly things that you believe are there, you get shocked by events that transpire throughout the course of the show. And I thoroughly was shocked by some of the twists and turns. Now, this character, oh no, not him. Where are we? Is it this character? Yes, so this lady here, she is the main antagonist throughout the series. So she's the leader of the invaders from Vault 32, who's pretending to be the overseer of Vault 32. But she's actually, she's there with her own agenda. And that agenda is she wants to kidnap Lucy's father, who's the overseer of Vault 33, because she has, her own agenda with him and her own plot. So this is Sarita Chowdhury, I believe she's called. She's also, I believe, she's in the Sex and the City spin-off, which I have never really seen. But she plays Moldava. Now, she's not only linked with the people of Vault 33, she's also linked with the Ghoul. Now, the Ghoul for me is a fantastic character. He really, really is. And I love his beginning and his kind of his origin story that they show you. Throughout it, he is an actual famous Hollywood actor who was called Cooper. I believe he was called Cooper Howard, I believe was the name of his character. And he's a very famous Hollywood actor who gets hired by Vault-Tec to do the promotional work to promote the vaults that they have built, who his wife has now gotten a job as a secretary for. And throughout the course of the show, his story arc is going back to his origin of when he became the Ghoul, and it basically showcases him and how he transforms into the Ghoul. Actually, the first episode with him in, right at the beginning, is the giant nuclear attack. And the effects are fantastic. The scene was fantastic. It really, really struck a chord and really basically lays out the foundations in where the show goes next, which I really, really enjoyed. And obviously he is played by a fantastic actor. He is played by the fantastic Walton Goggins. Now, I've seen him in a lot of shows and a lot of films as like cameo roles, but for me, this is, a breakout role for him. This is the role that I think he will be fondly remembered for doing, because he brings the Ghoul to life. And his character is also connected to Moldaver's character, so obviously throughout the show, you see him slowly going to Vault-Tec, where his wife's working, and he's very suspicious that not everything is what it appears to be. And then, so because of that, he starts investigating. He then meets Moldaver, and she kind of hires him to do some spy work for him, which leads to more into his plot. Obviously, I don't want to give too much away, that'll spoil it, but that's his story arc. And I like the fact that it shows you him as the Ghoul, and he's hunting for this antidote or this medicine that will stop him from going feral and turning into a lot of the other ghouls you see throughout the course of the show, who are like these feral zombie acting crazy folk. The other character who I really at the beginning didn't know if I was going to enjoy and like, but throughout the course of the show, his story arc grew on us, and I really, grew to enjoy him. And that is the character of Maximus, who is a squire to one of the, the members of the Brotherhood of Steel, who at the beginning, when he goes on a mission, his, Brotherhood member, his knight, as you will, is killed by a mutated bear. He then requires his armour and kind of goes on his own mission, and you see him trying to prove himself and to fit in without the other members of the Brotherhood, and he's kind of mocked a bit and picked on a bit, but then he comes into his own by the end of the season, and his story arc interlinks with Lucy's story arc, and then eventually the Ghoul story arc, and it all mingles and mashes. The jigsaw pieces come together by series end. And I love the humour in this. Like The Boys that Amazon have done previously, this has a lot of dark humour, a lot of dry humour mixed in with comedy. The action sequence, there's some gory elements. There's some of the gore scenes, with blood and, people getting, shot or stabbed or ripped apart, is well crafted, and it all interlinks and works really, really well without the world of Fallout. The pacing of the show is well put together. I hate when you have a great show where they hire in a couple of, say, filler episodes just to talk about little bits of the plot before you get to the next great episode. The thing with Fallout, it's only 8 episodes, and each episode uses its time wisely to build on the characters and the story, and that's what I enjoyed. And it's easy to watch. It's easy to watch. It's easy viewing, and you will be hooked from first episode to last episode. And some of the plot twists, like I said before, you kind of can see them coming, but when they do happen, you still enjoy them. And it, I loved it. I loved the show. I loved all of the characters I've mentioned, from heroes to villains. Like I say, the one element of this show that is abundantly clear is the amazing world that Amazon have built. It's so, addictive. You just go into this and you look around. We've had Dune part 1 and 2 out, the world they build on the island of on their planets, what Marvel's done with their amazing world building throughout the years. Now Fallout is a TV show that has done a tremendous job at building a very addictive, very pleasant to the eyes world. The storytelling is fantastic, the story's great, the characters are great, the acting's great, the visual effects is outstanding, not just of the world that they've created, but you do see some fantasy creatures, some mutations, some animals, that get in on the action, and it's really just great viewing, and it's a really great world that they've been able to create. And I'm looking forward to a second season, because it does end open-ended with obviously events that transpire. This will lead you on to season 2, which I'm really looking forward to. And I would imagine, because it has been a highly praised show, it's had amazing viewership, I believe, already, it wouldn't surprise me if they automatically renew Fallout for a season 2 and 3 right off the bat, because it is a very good show. The script, like I say, is fantastic. The world building's fantastic. Each episode uses its time wisely with the pacing of the plot. The actors are fantastic. The characters, they grow on you. And for me, it's one of the best shows I've seen so far in 2024. Now, I've got a poll up on my community page with 4 shows. Now, I find it easier to review movies over television shows, because for the simple fact, with the television show, you've got so much time in the day and you have to watch episode after episode, and it can take you time to do that. And also, it has to be a show that fully stands out, that really gets me interest. Fallout instantly got me interest, and it's a pleasant watch, and I fully enjoyed it. But there's a poll on the community page on the Entertainment Headquarters that it's got 4 options there for you. Pick one of the options, the best one that gets the most votes. I'll watch that series and I'll review it on the channel for you. As for this review and as for Fallout, I'm going to rate this sucker, and I'm going to give it a very strong 10 out of 10, because I loved it. I loved it from start to finish, from first episode to last. And I'll just repeat what I've said. Amazing script, amazing storytelling, amazing world building, great characters, and the plot, like I say, it's an easy plot that you can follow from start to end. And the world, the creatures, the costuming, the music, everything for me makes this show. So 10 out of 10 for Fallout on Amazon, and I'm looking forward to season 2. Now, there is other shows I will be reviewing on the channel, not just the ones I've chosen for that poll, but I am going to be reviewing soon with my fellow collaborator who I've worked with on, his channel, and he's been a guest on my channel. DJ Anubis and I will be reviewing Shogun real soon. I think there's 2 episodes left of Shogun, or maybe 1, I'm not quite sure. I've only watched the first 2 episodes when they first launched on Disney Plus, because I wanted to wait till all episodes had aired. So just like I've done with Fallout, I can give it a quick binge watch. And that channel, that review, will be coming up soon, not just with me and DJ Anubis. We are coming on and reviewing that with another guest, Thrash Pondupons. So I'm very much looking forward to that. And Blue-Eyed Samurai, I'm also reviewing that with 2 fellow friends and content creators from the Sci-Fi Society. we will have Mr. Century coming on, and Mr. Jedi Granville, who is not just a fellow content creator, but he's also a kaiju and Godzilla enthusiast. So I'm looking forward to having those two reviews up for you real soon. If you've liked me review, please like, share and subscribe to the Entertainment Headquarters. And like I always keep saying, keep enjoying your movies, keep on enjoying your television, keep on enjoying all things entertainment, and I'll catch us all at the next one real soon. Also, before I go, I might as well ask if there's any shows that you feel that, you know, you would like me to review for you. Like I see, I've got the poll up with them 4 particular shows. But if there's any shows that you could recommend for me, that you wouldn't mind me reviewing for you, mention them. Put them in the comments below. Let me know what you feel that you would like me to review for you. But like I say, I'll catch us all at the next one.